Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm checking in a little bit on the late side. Things can go wrong very, very quickly with me when it comes to technology and hotspotting and all that goes with it. But anyway, I am here and you're very welcome. Ciao to my Italian friends. Wherever you're from, just accept my welcome, because it is a lovely, lovely evening here in Ireland. And what we will look at today, hi Ruth, you're very welcome. What we're going to look at today is how we block ourselves. And this is something we do on a day-to-day basis, sometimes consciously and sometimes we do it unconsciously, because we don't feel that we have the ability to do something. And I just like to say, Alicia, Joanne, how are you? Yeah, Alicia, I got here eventually. When we look and to explore what it is in our past that actually creates the blocks in the present, because we're here in this moment in time, and this moment in time is the whole combination of our lives from the moment we were born through to now. So every experience we've had influences us in a way that we're unconsciously most of the time. Now, as you know, all my work is kind of gearing towards the mediumistic, psychic ability. Hello, Kathy Ann, Sabrina, Helen, Sonia, lovely to see you all here. It's looking at what it is in ourselves that stops us from expecting to have the ability to do things. And as I say, in the likes of mediumship, it's one of the real areas where you find in developmental stages that people say, no, I can't do it, it's my imagination, it's this, it's that, it's always something. But behind that is the underlying factor that we're afraid to make a mistake. We're afraid to go that extra step to actually see the ability that's within us. And that's something, and Mariella, that's something that for me, in working in complementary therapies, I would always look at the holistic approach to working with people. I've trained in counselling, reflexology, aromatherapy. These are all areas where, when working with someone, that it actually is working holistically to get the best out of the result, out of the sessions with the person, that they can walk away and feel that they are moving and reaching their potential, because our potential is enormous, absolutely enormous. And you know, 95% of us doesn't reach our potential. Part of that is due to time, commitments, being aware that we can't maybe financially do things, but beyond that, we can often make mistakes of saying we can't do it, just feeling that we're having the ability. So what we're going to look at is pen and paper on hand. That what I'd ask you to do would be to write down what your biggest block is, and to see it written down in front of you. Because when we go into the meditation later on, you know that my meditations focuses on healing. And when we look at doing something within ourselves, that's the time we actually take for ourselves. So it's the lovely chance to get in there and allow ourselves that space to acknowledge who we are, acknowledge the spirit that's within us, and to do something positive with what is our challenges. I suppose that's the easiest way of saying it. I have been lucky enough, and it's lovely to see Ruth here this evening, because Ruth's husband, bless him, Dennis, he had great belief in me. He was one of my lovely, I won't say mentors, because it wasn't so much that would work frequently with him, but any workshops I did with him has left a mark that said, you can do it. And that is a very, very positive effect when someone that you know has the ability to do, like in mediumship, and has that ability, and it says to you, you can do it. And I know from various tutors over the years, it is the one thing that people, they will always say, that people forgets that they have that in our ability. So when I wanted to do, take a moment, because we have 8 on at the moment, and what we're going to do is just take that moment and write down what it is. Marie, how are you? It's just Marie, what I'm asking here is that you write down on a piece of paper, because it's important to actually write it down and take it out of up here. Write down what you feel is your biggest block. In other words, your fear. And this is about you. This is about within, inwards, not so much about everyday, we'll say, facts of what business and whatever. This is about you. Fear of, last week I read a poem by Marianne Williamson, and it's, you know, the fear was all about fear, and can't remember the words of it, and that's terrible. But it always stays in my mind that who are we not to be great? That's part of it that always sticks out in my mind, and it's true. Spirit is part of our whole energy. It's part of the greater spirit. It is us. There's no division between. We're all great. We're all able to do things that we can push ourselves to do and go that extra step. So it's looking at what it is we need to do to actually acknowledge this. Now, that's your challenge, okay? Now, just cross the way from that. On the same level, what I want you to write down, in it's just a short sentence, we'll say a small sentence. In a short sentence, what is that block that you have? What is it stopping you from doing? I know my Italian friends, sorry, I'm speaking very fast. What is that word you wrote down? What is it stopping you from doing? Because if you have a fear, or you have something, a challenge, an obstacle in your way, and it's actually stopping you from doing something. Hi, Fran. Hi, Gina. We're doing a little exercise here, and you're just going to be fast-tracked in it. I want you to write down on a piece of paper, I want you to write down what your block is, what your fear is, and you do that on one side, and just take a moment, and I'll take everyone else on. Just take a moment to write on one side of the paper what your block is. The other side of the paper, write what is that block that you've written, what is that preventing you from achieving. So you're going to be looking at how is it affecting my life. You don't need to go into a whole essay about it, and you definitely could, but it's just a focus on these areas that you know that your potential is not being reached. So, because we're going to do the meditation later on, and it's about the healing of you just take a moment yourself, and as Gina and Fran, just take a moment to actually think about it, because as I say, you're going to spend a little time with your guides and helpers later on to focus on what it is that you're going to do, not what you can do, what you're going to do. Okay, there's no such thing as I might, it's like the word should and can't. You know, these words, we have learned them and we use them very, very often, and that's I suppose human condition and human nature. Now, what if you look at what you've come up with in these two simple exercises, just the one on the which I'm not calling it a negative side, but it's the whole back. That's the easiest way of saying the whole back side. And looking at then what is that preventing you today. You have to understand what it is that's creating a block. You actually need to reflect a bit on life and see where the sequence of events has happened over your lifetime. When it happened, you know, what was the surrounding conditions that influenced you? What was it that held you back when you were able? I always related to a baby taken off when they're about 7-8 months and getting on their feet and trying to walk. They keep going, they build their muscles, they keep going, nothing's going to stop them. They will keep at it despite all the falls, despite all the hurts. Remember that you were once that baby and nothing stopped you. You took on the challenge and you created your dream to be able to walk and get from A to B without the help of someone. And it is, it's a very simple philosophy in one sense, but we make it very complex. We also, I suppose, think of maybe the how our guides actually influence us along the way and take us to where we're meant to be. That is part of it too. But you know, anything that you actually dream of, you have put that thought out there. So that thought will bring into reality circumstances and conditions that will actually help you to achieve. So it's, you know, if we want to hold on to things, to be the victim of the circumstances we're in, the things will stay the same, and there's no dear doubt about it. We have to get into the mindset that says we are not going to be the victims anymore. And you are going to take on the tasks that you want to achieve. You're going to take that task on, and you are going to stand strong in your energy. And before this show, we had a gentleman talking about chakras, and I really would have loved to have listened to them. But one of the lovely things about the shows here is that you can get them later on YouTube, and I think that they're on here for a while afterwards, but you definitely will get them on YouTube later on, and I will listen to it, because it's about the chakra energy, and it's about having the ability to expand your knowledge, because every different mentor you go to, every different talk you go to, whatever it is, it will influence you at some level. Hi Angelo, Shanti, I loved your show yesterday. It was yesterday, the day before, I think. we have these English shows on now, so there's no excuse for missing out on the opportunity to expand your understanding of energy, your understanding of what it is that makes you tick. We're very lucky in today's world where we have all these opportunities to actually be with people that wants to help, wants to help us to grow in strength, and not be keeping us down, not be doing their best to kind of keep you in your place. I always maintain knowledge is for sharing, because if you hold on to knowledge, you stay where you are. But if you share your knowledge, it creates an energy that more knowledge comes in. So it's like a flow of a river. It just gets stronger and stronger, and the more water that's coming into the river, the stronger that flows. And that's what you're capable of doing if you put it out of the context of this is my mind and what I have to do. Look at it in the broader picture, in how it is you can do for yourself the best that you can do. And when you come, like I know we have mediums here, but there is no medium, I don't think, that hasn't stood at some point in time and said, oh, I don't feel anything, I'm in a limbo. And I know it has happened to me a couple of times, and I just be honest about it. I say, it's not happening, but it's me, it's not you. It's the way to acknowledge it, and then it just doesn't become a problem. Because if I projected the problem onto someone else and said, you're blocking me, that fear then would build in me that the next person I'd go to, maybe I can't do it because they're going to block me. So you see how our role effect, one thing creates another. And when, if we don't take responsibility ourselves, we won't grow in that pathway. So just be aware of what it is that you're doing when your thought pattern looks at something either in defeat or in achievement. It's very simple exercise. It's an exercise that you can do once a day in the morning. What is it that I want to achieve today? What is it that I'm going to achieve? So you put out that positive thought rather than I might, or maybe, perhaps. These are I might, what's this? There's one, I can't remember it now, but it's automatically, I'll try, that's it. I'll try to do it. Try automatically makes the room to fail. So, no trying, you're doing. And when you use your language like that, you will do it. Dare you not? You have your higher self to deal with. Like I know from going back, and anyone that has been here with me a while will often hear me talking like it's not, mediumship wouldn't be something I was interested in for many, many years, and I was taken that road, and when I say taken, it was my guides and helpers actually directed me to people, and it happened by chance, I say, with inverted commas. But all the doubts was there, all the doubts of I can't do it. There's who am I to communicate with the spirit world? And one of the things that would have been said back to me, you're really disrespecting the spirit world when you say that. And it made sense, because the spirit world work hard to get you to the point where you're willing to work for them. And remember, it is for them you're working. Your allegiance is to the spirit world, not the person that's sitting in front of you. Your allegiance is to work with the spirit, for the spirit world and with them. Because just think of it for a moment of what it's like for our loved ones who's passed over. They are here with us, in essence, every step of the way. And they're always looking for someone that can relay the messages through. And if your team, it's a collaborative effort where your team works to actually help you to grow and understand your energy at a much higher functioning level than you would normally on a day-to-day basis. And what is it what's entailed in that? So the spirit world are going around and say, right, here's Alicia. Now, it would be lovely if I was able to give a message through her to my son. Just imagine what that's like. It really is incredible. And each and every one here has that capability, even though there's people that thinks not a hope. Well, I can remember that being in that place when someone said to me, "You're going to do this," and I thought, okay, hop on your bike. You know, but spirit world had their job cut out to I won't say convince me, it wasn't so much convincing, to make the pathway for me. Marie, yes, I'll check it out for you, and I'll get you the name. Hi, Gabriella. All right, I have this thing propped up in a strange way because, as you know, I've moved residence, and things are still not, I don't have everything here because of this present situation, and I'm trying to maneuver with what I have and do the best with what I have. Yeah, I'll post that afterwards. Now, last week because when I'm talking, I'm away on a tangent, and Sabrina was asking, she asked twice and I didn't see either. She was asking me the cards that I was reading, and Gordon Smith is the medium that channeled these cards, and it's called The 5 Keys to Happiness. The 5 Keys to Happiness. I know you can't read it because it's back to front on screen. 5 Keys to Happiness, Oracle cards. And I always find I could sell cards. I think anywhere I ever went, and there was cards on sale, I was sure to come home with a pack or two. And you take them home, and when you come home, you look at them and you just look through them and you find, it's not, you know, they're doing nothing for me. And they were the first cards that I actually found talk to me. Because when you're using cards, the cards needs to talk to you. Because it's you know, you can read words, but that's on the cards. But beyond that, then you need to be able to blend with the sentiment, because two people could pick the same card, but the messages would be different. So that's the reason, like that's how it happens. It's the cards actually, you allow yourself to surrender to the energy and be in touch with that energy and allow the cards to talk to you. So hopefully that makes sense. again, you know, they may not be your what you like, but for me, they're the best cards, most simple as well, because you don't have the major arcana, the minor. You don't have them, and my memory, I'm afraid, wouldn't have a hope of remembering what they represent. So simplicity is my middle name. I like something that is not difficult to remember, and so I can drift off on my on my own path, like I do with nearly everything. Start off in one direction and sometimes do a U-turn, but that's fine. I have no problem doing that. If there's any questions, at all, always just put them into the comment window. Hi Mary, you're welcome. Just put them into the comment window, and as I say, if I can answer, I will. If I can't, either I'll try and get an answer for you, or I will. Angelo Shanti was on yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. But Angelo is going to be doing shows where she does the beautiful angel cards, and I got a lovely message. Thank you, Angelo. The other day, it's in English, so no problem understanding. But you know, you're able to. There's so many, and I do feel Angelo would have the same reaction as myself about. It's the cards that speak. It's the energy you blend with, and you become far more sensitive to information coming in, and that's what's important. You know, to have that. Okay, Mariella, the work to do on ourselves is not easy. Yeah, it depends from our changes of humour, from personal problems, from external. What do you say? I don't know whether this will go up no more. Oh, it does. So I love to stay in contact with nature, pray, live in a simple way. Sometimes I prefer to stay on my own. Yeah, and you probably will find that you're in, this is something that's bone of contention, an introvert. And believe it or not, even though I talk plenty, I am a true blue introvert. The difference between the introvert and the extrovert is that quite happy in your own space. You don't need people to enjoy something. You can sit in your own space, and even out in a social event, can be quite happy as an observer rather than a participant. And you find the one important thing is you find what it is that works for you, because we don't know each other. You know, we don't have the cure for someone else's problems. Going back to talking about doing the counselling, when someone comes for counselling, yes, the counsellor will do a fair amount of talking, and the client will talk, and so the conversation goes on. As time passes, the counsellor steps back and does very little talking, but the client has come to a point where they feel comfortable in company with the counsellor. So that's when you start to unravel, is when there is peace and safety, the feeling of safety, and that you're not under threat, and you're not under pressure to do anything. And I feel it's very important at that point to take that time out with Mother Nature. It's lovely to get in your bare feet and just to walk on the land. Nothing more beautiful. Smell the roses, listen to the birds. Powerful, powerful healers. You know, we're given everything. We're given everything that we need. We think we come in with our cures for this, that and the other. our cures, we have it through Mother Nature. We have herbs, we have open air, we have the sea, we have all of these things that's there for us for nothing. We can indulge in them, and we can walk away afterwards and feel, yes, I have energy. That used to be one of my things, was going out. I happened to work in a lovely spot, and put a field was the grass was cut fairly regular, and I used to love walking. It was a half mile, and I used to park the car up, walk up the strip and back down again, and that was a mile walking in my bare feet, and it was absolutely fabulous. So, you know, you're going to identify what it is that energizes you, and when you're there, think about the level of I suppose pressure that's holding you back. Think about what it is that's giving you that block that says no, you're not going there. And there are things that happen in life, all right, and it can be difficult to deal with them, and it can be definitely difficult to deal with them on your own. But you don't need to go down into the depths of things. The first thing that events that happen in your life, you don't need to go into the action of them. You need to actually work with how you feel, how it made you feel, and then how do you want to feel about it as you. You're an adult now, you're able to sit up straight, you're able to stand your corner, and you're able to take on the world, and this is where I'm going, and I'm not allowing how I felt that I didn't have the confidence, I wasn't, no one there to encourage me, all of that. You just realize now that you have the space to build your confidence. You have the ability to do it, whatever it is that you want to do. So now you have that to go forward with. So it's to work with the feelings of what comes up. And that, if you're out in Mother Nature, Mariella, that's where you really will exchange the energy. Ask Mother Nature to absorb that negative energy that's taking you down, and lift Mother Nature's energy from the earth. As I say, we have everything within our hand's reach. So, all right, for everyone that has done their little exercises with what it is that's holding you back, and what your goal is, what you would like now to be able to achieve, that aspect that was holding you back, that's written down there now. So what we're going to do is we're going to into the meditation, and we're going to work on healing that energy, healing the feeling that it gives us, and allowing it to be the seed of growth, the seed of energy, of positivity. Okay, so now get yourself nice and comfortable. Okay, I have a big family, 4 children, a busy lady. Every one of them has a different personality. Oh, I know. So it's quite difficult to go on, and I'll just get that here. Yeah, I have a problem getting the extra part. Ah, that's it. Find a little space for my hobbies, my needs. That's why I say that sometimes I love to stay alone with my thoughts in peace and serenity. Yeah, and it is. It's a busy household. When you have personalities that are sometimes in harmony, sometimes not. Family is family. It's all learning skills for them and tolerance skills for you. It's very hard to find that space. A friend of mine, there was a large family in it, but she used to say, I'd go to the bathroom and lock the door, and that was the only time. She had twins of 2 at the time, 2.5 at the time, and she had 3 older kids, and she had a stepson as well. So she was, the bathroom was her place of tranquility, and yeah, it was interesting, put it that way. Okay, so now you're going to put that thought, now you're going to have that feeling that's there that you want to get rid of. You want to let it drift away. It's not a magic wand, it's a wand of accepting that you are in the control. You're not being controlled by anything or anyone. And that's what's important. You take your power back. Okay. I've been very lucky to have got music that I'm allowed to use. Because I think I was telling you, I got notification to say I was using music that was copyrighted, and wasn't intentional, as I wouldn't. I loved the music, but yeah. Okay. So now just find yourself in a nice, quiet place. Just being aware of this time now that you're going to spend on you. Just say to yourself, this is my time. I'm going on my journey. Just sit in a nice, comfortable chair. Just make sure you're not surrounded by pillows or that's likely to help you to fall asleep. You want to be in awareness of this journey. So now just as you sit, become aware of the chair that you're sitting on. Aware of the support all around you. And now be aware of your physical body. That as you sit, your body starts to relax. And we're going to take a journey through it. So now just starting with your feet firmly on the ground. Just be aware of any tension that you're feeling. And as you move up through your legs, up to your thighs, be aware of any tension that you're feeling in these muscles. As you breathe in with awareness, and with the outward breath, just allow any tension that you feel just to leave as with your outward breath. Now we move up to the muscles, the pelvis and the abdomen. And very often we hold tension in these muscles. And the tension can actually make you feel ill at ease. So this time, as you breathe in, breathe deep down into the pit of your stomach. And with the outward breath, just allow any tension to just leave with the outward breath. We move up now to the chest and expand these muscles as you breathe in. And now as you breathe out, just allow the tension to leave. Allow the muscles to relax. And you're breathing in the breath of life. Letting go of what's no use to you anymore. Just release and relax. Now focus on the muscles of the hands and arms, up through to the shoulders and into the neck. And these muscles very often are the carrier of tensions that we've experienced over the years. So it's safe now to allow these muscles to relax. Releasing and relaxing as you breathe out. Focus on the muscles of your face and head, and be aware of how these muscles very often are used to hide how we really feel. So with the inward breath, visualize these muscles expanding, and as you breathe out, safe to allow the muscles to relax. And we're going to go on a journey. And as you're nice and relaxed, just visualize yourself sitting down on the beach. As you're sitting on the beach, you see three small stones that just stand out, and you pick them up. You're now going to walk along the shore. And one of those stones, you're going to throw it into the sea and watch the ripple effect. So now continue to walk, and as you're walking, you become aware of an energy that's joining you. energy feels very relaxed, and it's making you feel very relaxed. Just you become aware that this energy, you know it. You've felt it many times. So now you see a bench seat that's sitting just out from the shore and in the sea. So this bench appeals to you to go over and sit on it. And as you're sitting there, your feet has been washed with every wave that meets you. Just nice and relaxed. And the lovely sound of the sea. And the presence that's there with you is enveloping you with love. You feel the energy that makes you feel very much at ease. Very much at one with yourself. And now the cares that you had, that you wrote about, it's not there anymore. You feel very relaxed. And as you're sitting there, you hear the birds singing. You have the birds soaring around you as if they're celebrating your presence. So now it's time to move on. But before you move on, leave stone number 2 on the bench. And this is leaving behind any feelings of negativity. Leaving behind the sense that you don't want to carry any longer. So now you're moving on. And as you walk along the sandy beach, in the distance you see a child, and as you're getting closer, the child looks very happy to see you. The life and laughter that's coming from this child makes your heart beat. She is so happy to see you. It's a beautiful feeling that you're sharing together. Sharing that world where there's nothing to care about, nothing to worry about. Joy dances around you. And she beckons at you to give her your last stone. So you open your palm of your hand and you give her the last stone. And now she just dances away. And you feel as if all the pressures and stresses has been lifted away from you. But you know now that this little girl is with you. Is the little girl that has been always with you. It is you at that age. And she's taken your dream and you're going to work together to take that dream into reality. Now you just walk backwards to where you started. Being aware that this journey was about leaving your cares and leaving your blocks and challenges, handing them over. First stone was about leaving behind, throwing away the cares. Second stone was reinforcing that. And the third one, the child in you has the ability to achieve what you want to achieve. Just come back into awareness and thank all your guides and helpers, and also be grateful to this little girl that came and met you, because she is you. Just when you're ready, move your toes and fingers and follow that movement through your body. And if you can, stay in this place for a little while, just not to hurry back into the work life. Because I know some of you have, your work is not done yet. But it was lovely being with you, and as I say, the energies, I really never know what I'm going to do. And that can be a problem for the organisers. But I trust that when we come together, the energy of the group does the work for me. I'd really like to thank Richard Newell for allowing me to use his music, because I think it is beautiful. It's soothing, it's calming, it's just what is needed to work with. And yeah, that CD is called One. But I just feel we as a group, we come together really lovely. It is. No, you're very welcome, Mariella. Because it's difficult when families are at a stage where everything's happening, and the mother is the person really that just falls back and to make everything right. And that's difficult when you're trying to cope with your own issues. Mothers are supposed to be made of tough leather and of waving the magic wand as well. Yeah, so it was a lovely evening. Thank you for working with me, and I'll see you hopefully next Friday. Don't ask me what the topic is next Friday, because I don't know. But no doubt, I know I'm doing one on aromatherapy. I think that's in 2 weeks. But yeah, we're going to do the last Friday of the month on cards. So that's a date, I think, will be welcomed. Okay, take care, have a lovely weekend, and just recognise that energy that's within you, that beautiful essence of light. All right, take care now.